Hey, good morning and welcome to the McKenzie Foundation Presents Bullying in a Virtual World. I am your host, author EJENE, founder, CEO, and spokesperson for the McKenzie Foundation. And I am so excited to have each and every one of you here today to get this vital and very important information about bullying in a virtual world. And so when I come back, I will have all of my panelists on the screen with me. We're going to say good morning to you and thank you for joining us. Also, we will have a panel at the end, a question and answer. So if you have any questions, go ahead and drop it in all the comments we have everywhere and ask your question to this amazing and wonderful and professional panel of speakers that we will have this morning. And again, I thank you guys. And so before I go any further, before I let them come on, I want to give a little background of the McKenzie Foundation. So if you don't know, the McKenzie Foundation was founded by myself and our family after the death of McKenzie. She was 9 years old when she committed suicide due to racial bullying in school. And from that point forward, I made it my business to make sure that I get the information out to the people to know about bullying and its effects on an individual life and how they feel. And so that's where the birth of the McKenzie Foundation comes from. And from that, through this journey, I have realized that the bully needs just as much help as the victim does. And there's many aspects of bullying. And with that,
one of the questions that I asked in my PowerPoint presentation is, where do you stand? And that's the question you would hear throughout this morning's event is, where do you stand? When I ask my panel, where do they stand in the bullying world that we have that's virtual? I am author EJENE, and after this break, we will be back, and my panelists will say good morning to you all, and we'll be back after this. Bullying in a Virtual World, presented by the McKenzie Foundation. And we're back. All my panel say good morning to everyone that's listening.
Good morning.
We are so excited and so thankful to have each and every one of you here this morning to give us your take on bullying in the virtual world. And we appreciate you for your time, and we're excited to hear what you all have to say. So right now, we're going to go to a little break real quick, and when we come back, we will have Jayden Williams and I on the screen, and we will get right into bullying in a virtual world.
Welcome back, 6:23 on this Monday. It is time for the app of the day. Today's app helps students and parents brush up on their math skills. It's called AfroMan Math. You can improve your math skills by solving short math problems using addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. This app will help kids and adults sharpen their arithmetic skills by solving mental math problems, but you have to be quick because you are on a timer. AfroMan Math is today's app of the day.
Hello, Jayden. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm wonderful. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. And you guys, I bring to you Jayden Williams. He is a student at Dutchtown High School. Woo, go Dutchtown! And I'm so happy to have him on the panel this morning. He will give us his take on bullying in the virtual world. Jayden, it's on you.
Awesome. Thank you for having me this morning. Good morning to you all watching from wherever you are watching. I just want to first by saying bullying is not the best feeling. It makes people feel insecure, humiliated. And bullying is not something that can be confined in a classroom, the playground. But now bullying has now reached virtually as well, not just for children, but for adults. Bullying behavior can be communicated through text messages, phone calls, internet, social media, forums, and so on. Sometimes it's even hard to see why bullies pick on people just to pick on them. Bullies generally go for people that are different in whatever form or fashion they are different in. Whether it's mental, physical, religious, sexuality, it's an easy target for them because they may be smaller or younger than the person. Something needs to be done to stop people from using their power of bullying to make others feel bad. There are so many different things people might be able to do if they were being bullied. Different strategies can work in different situations. If you're being bullied, you might try and work it out by yourself. However, if the bullying doesn't stop, you might need to find help. It might find it helpful to ask someone else for advice and help. Don't be afraid to let someone know that you are being bullied. They can help you. If no one believes or takes you seriously, tell someone else. Keep telling people until someone helps you. Thank you.
Hey, and I'm back. I am your host, author EJENE, and that was Jayden Williams. You guys, he did an amazing job. And again, I want to thank each and every one of you for joining us this morning as the McKenzie Foundation presents Bullying in a Virtual World. So as I said, I go out and I speak a lot. And so today, where do you stand is one of the questions that I ask the audience when I'm speaking. And so to you, listening and watching the audience, where do you stand? All of my speakers will take this stand for us on this morning. But one of the questions that I ask when I'm speaking is, I saw it happen, but I did nothing. And that's one of the posters that you would stand by if you saw bullying taking place and you did not do anything. Well, my question to you is, why? Were you afraid? Were you afraid that you will be now the victim of being bullied? Or were you afraid to tell the adults that's in charge that they wouldn't take you seriously? So that's what the McKenzie Foundation is here for, so that we can be a mediator and we can help you. We can get those resources to you to help you stop what you're seeing and that you won't become a victim of being bullied. All right, so our next guest I'm going to bring on the screen is Mr. McDaniel. He is a Board of Education elect, and I am so excited to have him here this morning. Good morning, Mr. McDaniel. How are you?
Good morning. Good morning. How are you, ma'am? Good morning.
I'm great. So this morning, I want you to take that stand, and my question to you is, where do you stand with bullying in a virtual world?
Well, first, let me thank you for the opportunity and your vision in discussing this very important topic in today's world. Contextually and statistically, where do I stand on bullying? Bullying is something that has reached far and wide. Statistically, 20% of students aged 12 through 18 have experienced some type of bullying, and 15% have experienced cyberbullying. If we were to break it down, 19% of freshmen through seniors have experienced bullying on school property, and then 15.3% of those have experienced it virtually or online. So bullying is something that is touching many of our young, inspiring, and growing students. Bullying is something that is again, is touching everyone, but it is altering, it is mind altering, it is physically altering people, and the end result of it is that some people are unfortunately taking their lives because of bullying. So this platform that you have here, this platform and other platforms that we have going on, is an opportunity for people to come together to understand, to figure out why bullying is happening, what can we do to cease it and potentially decrease it, but then how can we save the lives of our seniors, our freshmen, our juniors, our children, our students? How can we save their lives, and how can we listen to them when they are saying that they're going through something? So we've got to have an ear, we've got to listen, we've got to take time out of our schedule to pay attention to the things that's going on in our community with our children, especially when it comes down to bullying. So I thank you for this opportunity. I look forward to the discussion of the panelists and the questions that come forward. So thank you, and again, thank you for your vision.
Hey, I'm back. Author EJENE here, and I am so thankful for all of my panelists and each and every one of you that is watching and listening to us this morning. This is very important and very dear to my heart, and I thank each and every one of you for allowing to keep McKenzie's name alive, because her life was cut so short due to something so temporary. And again, my question to you is, where do you stand? It has happened to someone I know, which is also one of the questions that I ask, and it's a poster that I ask people to stand by. So my question to you is, if it happened to someone you know, how did that make you feel? How did that make your friend or your family member feel when you saw them being bullied? How did that affect your life and how you felt about people in general? And what do you think that bullies get their actions from? Where did it come from? And how can you move forward after you've experienced such trauma? And with that being said, I will move on to one of my teachers that I have on my panel. Actually, she's a longtime college bestie of mine, and I'm so thankful to have her and the positions that she has taken to teach our youth about the future. And I'm going to bring none other than my friend Chantaye Toney on the screen. Good morning, Chantaye.
Good morning. It is an honor to be here with you today.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And again, my question to you is, where do you stand from a teacher's perspective in this bullying in a virtual world?
Absolutely. Where do I stand? It is definitely, as a teacher, of course, I'm definitely against any form of bullying, whether it is something I see physically before my eyes or whether I see on a phone or any other device. As a person who did go through bullying when she was in school, I get the ramifications, how a person feels humiliated, who they're upset, and they internalize those feelings. That's a huge problem that people don't understand. When you bully someone, they're internalizing those feelings, and then you start to hear the negative thoughts, and they will drive anyone to harm themselves. But one of the things, so cyberbullying wasn't out when I was in. I was physically and verbally bullied, but I had parents, my support group, who always continued to encourage me, who stayed in contact with teachers and things of that nature to make sure I was in a safe environment, and I'm so appreciative of that. Some of the students who go through bullying now do not have that support system at home like I did, and so it's up to people like me, educator, those of you all who are coaches, mentors. I know we have some extracurricular organizations. Example, I know Delta Sigma Theta does gyms and Deltine. All of those organizations like that, it's up to us to come together as a village to support our children, no matter what, whether they have support at home or they don't. It's up to us. And so virtual bullying can take someone's shame to a whole nother level, to where it's being shared with everyone. All it does, it takes a click, a screenshot, and that can go viral. And now you have people who don't even know you, who are shaming you because of something that someone did. And so when it comes to bullying, you have to figure out, what part do you play? Are you the one who's doing the bullying? Are you the one that's sitting on the side of the bully and you're laughing? Are you the one that's standing around because you know it's wrong, but you don't want to get involved because then you might get bullied? Or do you stand flat-footed, unashamed, and be unapologetically aware of your surroundings and do something about it? As a teacher, I'm considered what we call a mandated reporter. So anytime I see any kind of bullying, I have to take a zero tolerance stand on it. I don't care how small or minuscule you think it was. I have to take an immediate stand to make sure it doesn't happen again, even if it prolongs. I know my school has things in place where we reach the principal, we reach counselors, we talk to the parents, we sit down and we try to mediate before it gets out of hand. If it reaches to a point where it's gotten out of hand, such as there was a fight and someone got jumped on and someone videotaped that and sent it out. So not only do the people involved with the fight get in trouble, the persons who sent out the videos also get in trouble. And so I'm grateful to my school where we're taking a stand on that. But what can you do outside in the community? When will the bullying stop? When the kids stop seeing it being modeled? I know that you don't be taken aback. Your kids hear your conversations. They hear you on the phone. They see what you type in when you are addressing videos online as well. And if you are making fun of someone's situation, if you are being rude or disgruntled to another person you disagree with, you're being a bully. And your kids see that. They pick up on those things. They pick up on how you treat the other people in your household. And so my suggestion is it's going to need to start with us adults. So therefore, we don't have another tragic event like author EJENE's niece. So we don't have another tragic event where a kid has came to the level and they come in and they do harm to their school. All right, so that's my stand. Thank you for letting me talk, and I look forward to the panel discussion. Back to you, Ms. EJENE.
EJENE, your host for this morning of the McKenzie Foundation Presents Bullying in a Virtual World. And my panelists, my speakers have been doing an amazing job this morning. I'm so thankful to have wonderful people such as this panel here. They're true and dear to my heart on every level. They know where I love them at. And I'm so thankful to have them here with me this morning to just help me continue to spread the word about McKenzie's story. Her story has touched so many lives with just me going forth and speaking in the areas that I speak in. And another question that I have as a poster when I open up as my icebreaker is, where do you stand? And here's one of the posters I have it. It happened to me. So I have found so many kids are so afraid to say that they're being bullied. But a lot of kids that are attempting suicide are doing it because of bullying, but they were afraid to tell someone. So we, the McKenzie Foundation, Jayden, Chantaye, Tara, James, Mr. McDaniel, Dennis, we are here for each and every one of you. That's what this is all about. That's why the McKenzie Foundation was created. It was created from a death. The death of my niece birthed the foundation that is here to help people that was in the same boat as McKenzie. We don't want you to die. We don't want you to kill yourself. We want you to live and tell your story. McKenzie didn't get that opportunity. So her auntie is taking it upon herself to make that opportunity available for other people to understand we're here to help you. With that being said, we're going to keep on moving. And I have another dear friend of mine that I met in college way back in the day. He is a coach that Chantaye spoke about, and he's also a teacher as well. And I'm so thankful to have another male on the panel so that we can get the male point of views from where they stand. I bring none other than Mr. James Norman on the screen with me. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Thank you so much. And I apologize to y'all that this cold is kind of gotten to my throat.
We gotta be explaining that.
So y'all please just bear with me, please.
That's what coaches do. They get those hoarse voices, and that's okay. That's okay. We understand. So, James, I asked you this same question. Where do you stand with bullying in the virtual world?
Yes. Thank you again for having me. Where I stand with bullying in the virtual world is where I stand with any bullying, whether it's face-to-face or virtual or any type of situation. I firmly am against it. And what I would like to do is, my theme is going to be redirection. One of the things that I love to do, whether it's in the classroom, on the field, court, wherever, is that we redirect those situations. Now, what I'm not saying is that we just put a blind eye to the situation, but we redirect those instances and then readdress. But first, speaking, just like Ms. Chantaye was speaking on earlier, we do come from different eras. I'm 35, and so when we was in, it was no cyberbullying back then. Now there is. When things happened in school when we was coming up, it stayed pretty much at school. And normally the next day, most of the times people would forget about it. Well, now you have situations where things are happening at school and it is following those children home. And so that's an even more burden on the child. So I really feel for them for that. And that's why we're doing things like this. Excuse me. The other thing is in the classroom. So we don't have, in our classroom, what I like to do is try to also eliminate opportunities for any type of bullying. So I try to keep from even having those situations. Of course, some kids will figure out ways to do it either way, but from the jump, we try to eliminate those situations. For instance, excuse me, I love to use proximity in my classroom. I'm a walker. So the whole time I'm in class, I'm always walking around through the aisles, through everywhere. So I'm always watching their screens and trying to see what they're doing. I'm one of those teachers that if something comes up, I will go and check your internet history. A lot of times to kind of see where they're going and what they've been doing. Because a lot of times in class, we have, like was mentioned before, where you can find pics or things like that. And you can say, hey, this child looks like such and such. And somebody will find a picture on Google or whatever website and use that to kind of tease or taunt another student. And excuse me, at that point, one of the things that I've learned throughout my life that I incorporate into everything is positivity. So even if a child first takes a situation and makes it negative, what I like to do is find the positive in that. If for instance, just as an example, in my class, I have students that like to tease one about being 50 Cent. This was just this week, actually. And they got a picture on the computer, and it was like, this is what 50 Cent looks like. And I was like, well, if that kid looks like 50 cents, he looks like a whole lot of money then. Because that's what you got to do. You got to turn around and change those things into positives. And that's part of that redirection. We have a thing that we do with our Cahoots. It's a game that we play, but what I don't allow my students to create their own usernames, because I just know that that's setting up for further situations. So that's what I'm talking about when I'm talking about trying to eliminate those situations. Also, the same thing on the football field or excuse me, in the football field, on the court, or anything. Anytime those situations happen, if I'm right there and I can catch it, then we turn it around, we can flip it and redirect everything that's going on. Excuse me. One of the last things is just, excuse me, readdressing the situation. So we try to eliminate the possibilities when we try to redirect when things happen, but also we readdress. And because we're dealing with I'm dealing with 11, 12, 13-year-olds, you can't really take on that situation in front of the class. So I like to just readdress it one-on-one. When you try to speak to a child in front of the class, it's never going to work because they're still in that I'm trying to be cool mindset. But once you can get them on a one-on-one, whether it's the person that's bullying or the person that has been bullied, then you can change that situation one-on-one. They're more apt to be focused and listen to you and be able to take on and take in and take heed of everything that you're saying. So again, our key word for the day is redirection, and thank you.
Hey, y'all, hey, and I'm back. I'm your host, author EJENE, the McKenzie Foundation presents Bullying in a Virtual World. And my panelists have been so amazing this morning. They just make me smile because you guys, I mean, most of these guys I've been known for so long, and just our growth and becoming adults and giving back to the community has been something just amazing. And, you know, Jayden is our youngest on the panel, but what he does for the community is just super awesome. And I'm so thankful to have them. I am so thankful to have each and every one of you here with us this morning to listen and get this vital information that will help you, because this virtual world, as far as learning and in school and all of that, is very, very new to everyone. And I want parents to know that bullying is still happening. The McKenzie Foundation did not stop working with attempted suicides and bullying when we shut down in March. We actually became very busy because so many people were feeling so many different feelings that they didn't understand. So as I said, when I come on, I will talk about where do you stand. So this time I saw it happen and I helped. I just want to thank any person that has seen bullying happen and they helped the person that was being bullied. I myself was one of those individuals in high school, I guess you can call popular. I was a cheerleader at one school, in a band and dance line in another. And so I guess you would say that's popular. So, you know, if I saw someone being mistreated, I was like, leave them alone. You know, they're my friend, you know. And I did that so that they could leave the people alone, because you don't know what people are going through. And so those people, I want to say thank you for being a hero, because you don't know how you may have saved a life just by that simple act of kindness. So again, where do you all stand in bullying in this virtual world? I'm going to bring my next guest on the screen, Mr. Dennis Osborne, the CEO of 321 Stop Bullying. I know he has a great presentation for us this morning. Mr. Dennis, welcome. So I'm gonna let him do his thing, because Mr. Dennis, you know, he do his thing. So Mr. Dennis, what do you say in the virtual world?
Some love, stop the hate, be more positive. Stop the bullying, 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 stop the bullying.
Determined no longer to be the devil's doormat. I stand before you fueled by fire, motivated by love. This road in life we travel is steep and narrow. Even though I'm scared of heights, I endure recited. I can do all things through Christ Jesus who strengthens me. From the world, it looks impossible, but for the Almighty, it's a small thing to a giant. To God above, I give all the praise, honor, and glory. To my daily oppressors of the dark side, I say, have your fun, take your shots, give it your all, and that still won't be enough to stop me. I am a child of God. Need I say more? Boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, I got some good news and I got some bad news. I repeat, I got some good news and I got some bad news. Bullying has been around since the beginning of times and will continue to be around until the end of times. From the White House to the school classroom to your local electronic device, bullying does exist. All facts, no cap. You will be talked about. You will be picked on. You will be disliked. You won't always be accepted. You will be called names. Some of your friends today may end up being your enemies. You're probably saying to yourself right about now, with friends like that, who needs enemies? And I couldn't agree with you more. See, you can't control what people think of you, but you do have the power to control what you think of yourself. That's why I'm here to encourage you young people to know exactly who you are and whose you are. Let me say that again. Know exactly who you are and whose you are. Know that you are the head and not the tail. Know that you are more than a conqueror. Know that you can do all things through Christ Jesus who strengthens you. See, money don't make you. Clothes don't make you. Shoes don't make you. Smoking a blunt don't make you. Popping a pill don't make you. Busting a gun don't make you. Laying down with someone don't make you. But you, and knowing exactly who you are and whose you are, that would make you. See, that time is going to come in your life, young people, when mama's not going to be there. Your dad is not going to be there. Your relatives are not going to be there. Social media is not going to be there. You will have to walk through the valley of shadow of death all by your lonesome. See, you must know exactly who you are and whose you are. You see, when I did those 6.5 years, I had to learn to look in the mirror. Dr. Martin Luther King looked in the mirror. Medgar Evers looked in the mirror. mirror. Nelson Mandela looked in the mirror. President Obama looked in the mirror. Rosa Parks looked in the mirror. Harriet Tubman looked in the mirror. Tyler Perry looked in the mirror. Nipsey Hussle looked in the mirror. The late, great Congressman John Lewis looked in the mirror. You too must learn to look in that mirror and know exactly who you are and whose you are. And when you look in that mirror, you smile and know without a shadow of a doubt, you have everything it takes and the victory is yours. Osborne Dennis, 321 Stop Bullying, aka Mr. One Love. Thank you. I'm out.
I don't know how to do the YMCA thing, but anywho, you guys see why my panel is like so fresh. Like they are just super amazing. I told you. Mr. Osborne was gonna just bring him. I told him, do you, and I love it. Again, thank you all so much for watching. Thank you for all those that will play this back. And I know that what has been shared this morning will bless you, will help you, will heal you. Just reach out to each and every one of us. We are here for you. That's why the McKenzie Foundation is here, working and continue to grow because of people on this panel that I am connected to, that the McKenzie Foundation loves and cherishes so much for just their time. Time is so valuable now. And we just thank you all for watching. I am author EJENE. I have been your host this morning for the McKenzie Foundation Presents Bullying in a Virtual World. And as I told you, I will be talking about where do you stand? That's what all of the panelists have talked about, their stand in this bullying in virtual world and face-to-face. And so my question to you is, where do you stand? And this one says, I did it. Now, this is the one that gets the least amount of people to go and stand by because they don't want to admit that they are the bully. But this is the one I need you to recognize. I need you to accept this. I need you to say, I'm sorry, I'm the bully. Here I am. I want to change. I don't want my words to send someone to their death. And that's exactly what happened to my niece, McKenzie. People's words, people's actions toward her in school, not being taken care of by authorities, led her to her death. And that's why I need, if you are the bully, go ahead and reach out. Reach out to me right now. I'm Edwina Janae Adams on Facebook, Instagram. I'm EJENE_1. You can email the McKenzieFoundation.com. You can email me or talk to me in my author EJENE.com. We have ways to get help to you. And everyone on my panel is very much available and ready and willing to help whomever needs that personal one-on-one. And with that being said, I have one of my big sisters that have been with me since the death of my niece. She was one of the only community activists and organizations that came into our lives, and she's just been family. And I can't call her, a friend, because she's like a big sister. Anytime I reach out to her, she's like, girl, I got it. I'll take care of it. It just happened this week. So I'm surrounded by people that has resources that will get you the help. Just ask us. And I bring to you guys none other than the beautiful Miss Tara Town. Good morning.
Good morning, Love Bug. How are you?
I'm awesome. Thank you so much for joining us. I know you way out there in the West Side.
Yes. I'm on my way back, though. I'm on my way back.
She will wake up for McKenzie any time of day. Trust me.
Yes.
She's trying to. And I thank you so much. So my question to you, as the rest, but I didn't say, she is a therapist. You guys are clinical therapists. So therefore, we are getting professional counseling at this point. And she's going to bring that's like the rest of our panel. I give you, Ms. Harris, where do you stand on bullying?
Good morning, everyone. I stand firm against bullying, obviously, right? I have a child who has dwarfism. He was bullied. So this is near and dear to me as well. And I work with families who have lost children. And like Edwina just said, they have become like my family. But what I want to do is I want to reach the source, right? Because we talk about, the bully and what he does and the behavior and the victim. And, there's so many things and so many components to bullying. But I want to talk to parents this morning because it begins with you. It begins at home. So you may not be the one who's showing the behavior to the bully, but he's getting it from somewhere, and you have that control on what you expose your child to. I really, really want to hone in this morning. We don't have a lot of time, but I want to talk about the three components of the bullying, which is the bully, the watcher, and the receiver. This is the child that stands by, doesn't really do anything. The receiver is the one, obviously, who's receiving the bullying, and the bullying is the one who does the violating. Why does he do this? This is a question that I get all the time. Why does a 7-year-old, an 8-year-old, a 9-year-old? He does this because he has certain character traits in him. He has a low self-esteem. He feels empowered by violating others. That's how he gets his control in his environment. But I want people to realize he's a child. He is a kid. So we can't hate him. We can't be mad at him. We don't shrink him by ignoring him. This is an epidemic. It's like cancer. You can have one little piece cut off, but if you don't get to the source and the root, guess what's going to happen? You can do chemotherapy. You can do whatever you want to do, but it's not going to shrink the tumor. It's not going to kill the cancer. This is a cancer, guys. It's families every day that lose children or that have children that attempt suicide. It can't go on any longer. We have enough awareness. What is the resolution? What do we do? This is what I get all the time. I like to focus on the bully because he's the source. He's the root of it. Parents, there are certain signs that your child would have as a bully in the pre-operational stage of development. Let's not address this when he's in middle school. Let's address this when he's 2 years old or 3 years old and he's pulling his sibling across the floor by the hair, or he's sitting on the dog and hurting the dog on purpose. Bullies have an immense amount of aggression, and they show this behavioral trait, once again, the pre-operational stage of development, not later on in life here, like in middle school, right? He already has the characteristics have bloomed and blossomed, and now he's using them and violating them on other people. So we address this early, you guys. Parents, I'm speaking to you because I don't want you to be a parent that I'm speaking to about losing your child. I want you to be proactive in your home. Look at the signs. Look at the signs of the bully. We said that he's aggressive, right? We say that he needs power. These are things that can be redirected, most certainly, very, very early. Another thing is the watcher. This is a child who just stands by. Why? Why do they just stand there and watch? Because they're afraid, right? They don't want to be bullied. The bully thinks he is in control, but if you really look at it, the watcher and the receiver are two kids or two people in the situation. Two is powerful. Two is more than one. So when we train children to know that their voice is their power, and we get rid of the notion that snitches get stitches, we have to meet kids where they are, you guys. Snitches don't get stitches. You can be, not alive because of not speaking up, or someone else could not be alive because of not speaking up. So empower your children, educate them, let them know that there's several types of bullying. There's social bullying where the bully erases all of the social setting for the other child. That's just so hard for kids, right? They want to identify with a social clique, a social group. They want to do that. They want to belong. They want to belong more than they want to be our children when they reach a certain age. Connect to them. Tell them a story. Tell them that you were bullied if you really were. I mean, I'm sure that everyone has seen it or heard about it. Share with them. Don't let them feel like they are an island, you guys. When you leave this situation up to children, it's a recipe for chaos. Let's set them up with a recipe for success. Teach them to love themselves. I mean, that's what a lot of the speakers were saying today. It is about being positive. It is about redirecting negative behavior, but it's also about cocooning and supporting the bully, because we are not going to shrink his behavior by ignoring him. We are going to shrink the bully by supporting him. That's how we do that. We support everyone in a scenario and teach children that we don't have to fight back with our fists. We don't have to encourage, oh, if the bully says this to you and does this to you, then just fight him back. Yes, there is self-defense. I am a supporter of that. If you're alone and you have to do what you have to do. But I mean, basically, it's just, you know, it's just a cycle of negativity. It's the hamster in the wheel of negativity. So we want to encourage our youth. We want to have relationships with them, connect with your children. A lot of the moms that I spoke to that lost their children, they said, I didn't know the signs. I didn't know that my child was depressed. There are signs, though, when children withdraw, when children regress in their grades, when children start giving away things that are very important to them. These are signs, you guys. Pay attention. Pay attention to the signals. Pay attention to the signs, the gestures. Pay attention, period, parents. Pay attention, because we don't want you to join the laundry list of children that we have. It's disturbing, it's depressing, it's sad, but we can do something about it. So be a part of the lane of change. Be a part of a resolution. Let's not talk about it anymore. We all know bullying exists. We know that it is an epidemic, never mind a pandemic, because how is this still happening in the middle of a pandemic? That proves that it's an epidemic. Our children, African-American children, are leading in suicide now. The rates are up 73%. I mean, this is just absolutely, it's hard for me to wrap my head around it, but I wrap my head around it every day because it, you know, unfortunately I have to deal with this in what I do. But these are just some key factors. No, I like to say, are you raising a bully? That is my next book. Are you raising a bully? Let's get to the root, the source, and let's cut that cancer out for good, you guys. And let's help these children walk down the lane of change with posture, with positivity, with power. That's what I have to say about bullying. That's my stand. Thank you, guys.
Hi, I'm Janae. I want to thank Precious Hospice for taking excellent care of my family member. Their precious care and compassion shows in every phone call and every visit. Precious Hospice was a breath of fresh air. We really want to just say thank you for the service that you all have provided. Oh, y'all can't hear me. There we go. Okay. So, hey, y'all. Hey, we're back. OMG, you guys. I'm so excited that every one of the panelists, of the speakers, they have done an amazing job this morning. Oh, okay. I was paused. I was like, what's happening? Okay. Anyway, so we're back. The McKenzie Foundation presents Bullying in a Virtual World, and it has been an amazing morning. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you guys so much for your time to speak to the audience on this morning. And I hope that everything that has been said this morning will help you reach out to everyone that has spoke this morning. And we're going to head into our panel part. But before we do that, we're going to take a few little sponsor breaks. And when we come back, everyone a part of this panel that's still left, because I see some people that disappeared down there. But anyway, we will have them all on the screen. And the questions that have been coming in since they've been speaking, we will ask those questions. They will answer them. And we will go ahead and get off of this event this morning. But just know this is the first of many. The McKenzie Foundation will be doing this the next 2 months, the rest of this year. There's only 2 months left. But bullying is still real. Suicide is still high, and we have to stop it. It's one thing to know about it, but it's another thing to do something about it. So when you learn better, you should do better. And if you are having or experiencing being bullied or a part of the bullying ring is what I call it when I speak, make sure you reach out to us. Reach out to the McKenzie Foundation. Reach out to Jayden Williams, Chantaye Toney, Power James Norman, MaKenzie McDaniel, and Dennis Osborne at 321 Stop Bullying. We are here for you. That's the whole point. We are here for you. And I trust each and every one of the individuals that have spoke this morning to ensure your confidentiality, your safety, and giving you the positive, transparent facts. And that's why we're here. So thank you so much for watching the McKenzie Foundation Presents Bullying in the Virtual World. We're going to take some breaks. When we come back, the panel will be on the screen, and we're going to ask our questions.
Hi, my name is Tia. I am 16 now and well known as See Me. The song is mostly about people not wanting to see you shine and see how good you're doing. They'd rather see you hurt than to see you actually smile.
Me happy, man, they rather see me frown. They laughing when I'm up, cause they rather see me down. Rather doing all this hating, but see Pops made a G. That's why I say, focus, Queen T, gotta eat. All I did was believe, and all my goals were achieved. Boss, young queen, yeah, she coming for the green. Y'all was hating, why y'all changed up? Mad cause you got her game up, don't switch up, you mad for real, oh. You don't like how that feel, a hater. I'm great enough to put myself on blast, but some of you rappers trash. I'm a big boss, never take a loss. I keep grinding, I'm just unwinding. I'm coolin', I'm coolin', I'm coolin'. We finna eat. They don't wanna see me happy, man, they rather see me frown. They laughing when I'm up, cause they rather see me down. Y'all doing all this hating, but see Pops made a G. That's why I stay focused, Queen T, finna eat. They don't wanna see me happy, man, they rather see me frown. They laughing when
Welcome back, everyone. We are back. Thank you guys so much. We have the panel on the screen. Hey! Some of you guys are muted, but that's okay. I understand. You mute yourself and that's questions that have come up while you guys were speaking. You guys were so amazing. I'm so proud of y'all. So the first question, we're gonna go ahead and start because I don't like to prolong time because people are, they want to get to this answer. So the first question is how to combat bullying virtually in the school. So I'm gonna start with my school teachers and then I go to my clinician. You know what I'm saying? Let's see what we got to know. So I'm gonna start with James. How do you combat bullying virtually in school?
All right, as far as, like I said, our thing is redirection. But as far as with the kids, just go on what Tara said, as consoling those kids. And like I said, everything I do is trying to make positives. So any negatives that I see, because I'm a positive person, I'm a real positive person. And so anytime I see anything negative, I always want to try to see how I can flip it. And I love to think quick on the spot. And so it just really fits into me to turn anything into a positive for both sides. Like Sarah said, we do it for both sides, for the person that's being bullied, but also for the bully themselves. So yeah, that's how we would do it in our virtual.
Absolutely. When we can all mute our mics until I call on you. Chantaye, you will be next. Answer that question: how to combat bullying in this virtual world.
Well, definitely, I teach the big teenagers, high school, and so they're a little more sly with what they do. I know when we were doing Google Meets, one thing I made clear was that when people gave questions and things like that, you will not make fun of them. I'm like, if you did, I will go ahead and hang up on you, and you will not be allowed to come back. So I start to nip in the bud for that moment, and then I will email you and a parent to come back on so we can discuss what's going on. So the first thing I definitely try to do is to eliminate it first. So therefore we can progress on, especially if it's in the middle of teaching. And then we come back to it. That gives the bully time to calm down. That gives the receiver a little bit of time to catch their breath. So therefore, I can deal with it, and the parents see that it's being dealt with. It's not something that's being swept under the rug. So those of us who have to do Zoom and Google Meets, you are in charge of that. You are more than welcome. If you need to excuse a student, you can do that and make sure they do not come back in. There are parameters set in place for that. So therefore, things like bullying or snark remarks are not kept in play. But definitely, if I see that there's a video circulating, I email an assistant principal to let them know that this is what's happening. If it's something that's sent to me, because I do have those kids that will trust you, like, Miss Toney, this is getting sent around to us. I send it to our principal, and usually our principal is on it. Like, he'll go through and see who are the first culprits, and they are taken care of. So definitely handling it in the virtual world is to stop it, and it's to definitely first stop it, and then come back to it. Make sure it's being handled correctly. So therefore, everyone involved is receiving the assistance that's needed.
I like it. I wish more teachers and administrators were like Chantaye and you, James. I appreciate you guys so much. On behalf of McKenzie and losing her, we appreciate you for taking that stand so that something like what happened to McKenzie won't happen to someone else's child. Because as an administrator, as a teacher, as a mandated reporter, I too work in the school. I more so teach adults, but I do deal with the kids when I'm driving them. And you have to cut it. You have to stop it right then and there, because they're going to, one, try you. And they're going to, two, see if you're going to be a man or a woman of your word. And if us as adults can't be that, then what else are we? Well, why are we here? Why are we there to assist them if we can't assist them? We're going to go to Tara. Tara, what is your take on how to combat bullying virtually in school?
Technology. We just developed an app, so I can't give the intricate details, but this will definitely support this. Then we need the reporting done. We need the support to the student, and we need, honestly, for the student to be encouraged virtually, since this is what our world is. It's hard. We can't have in-session things, so we must meet them where they are. They're on their phones, their pads, everything. This is how they cyberbully. So we have something for it, guys. We have a resolution, seriously, that will be in all of the schools, and this will help. Another thing is to I feel it should be part of the curriculum, that there should be an integrated curriculum that deals specifically a class about reporting, bullying, what it looks like, and what is the protocol. What should the kids do? And this can be done every day when they're in school, online. I'm saying it can just be a class. This is what we need. We need to educate, and then we need to support with a technical device, which we have both. We're happy to say that this will be launched in about 2 to 3 weeks. So we're just getting the little last bugs out of the app. So excited about it. This is going to really crush it online. So.
Super awesome. Jayden, do you have anything to say about how, as a student, to combat bullying virtually while you are in school?
Yeah, so one thing our board member, one of our board members has done is set up to make sure all of our schools have a prevention line. So every year, at least twice a year, one each semester, our school is to host a bullying forum, usually with our peer mediation club. They come and have a forum so that if the student needs to have the privacy just to let someone know, just to be informed, just to see what can they do next, they can have that privacy moment with, whether it's one of us as a student leader, whether it's an adult, whether it's a principal, they have that right to go in there and just have a talk. Or all around our room, even during our morning announcements, we, as a student government official, we make sure that the bullying prevention hotline number is on every single slide.
Super awesome. And I am so with that, because when I first started doing motivational speaking, targeting about bullying and standing against bullying, I realized that most of the time, the bullies are in the same room with the victim. So you really think they're going to say something? They need that privacy, as you spoke of, Jayden, to tell someone, to get that information out so that they won't be afraid to stop being bullied. Mr. McKenzie, give us your take on how to combat bullying virtually in the classroom.
As a incoming Board of Education member, I'm ecstatic to hear the suggestions of those the panelists, and this is something that I think that maybe I need to do, knowing that bullying is a very big issue. I like what Jayden stated about having a bullying prevention hotline, something that we need to ensure that we have across this district. I also like about the redirection, the technology, the integrated curriculum. So I've been writing down these things because I think that if we're really serious about combating bullying and then the negative effects that we have, then we've got to get serious about implementing things that can identify bullying, so we've got to get serious about it. And so I'm thankful for that question, and I wrote down some notes about it. And Jay, not working with you to make sure that we get this done, since me and you in the same area.
Super awesome. Thank you guys so much. I do have some questions over here that we're going to tackle real quick because I don't want to keep everybody super, super long. The question, well, it's not really a question. It's more of a statement, is that young ladies bully too. So I'm going to go back to my teachers, because you guys, I go from inside to outside. I want to come inside the classroom with the teachers, but I also want Jayden to speak from a student perspective. Then I have a clinician therapist over here. Then I have a board of education. Y'all just doing it. So the question, whether the statement is girls bully too. So as teachers, James and Chantaye, what do you see, or how do you see girls evolving as the bullies more so than boys?
All right. So as far as with our young ladies, I don't know if I can really speak on this and without y'all going in on me. But some of the young ladies, I think they're smarter than we give credit. Especially our young ladies are a whole lot smarter than we give them credit for. Because even in the middle school, in our middle school system, in our school, they can really figure out things. They know they're just really sly. I'm just gonna plain out say it. They're just really sly. And so they can get these boys and, hormones and everything's kicking in right here in this middle school area, excuse me, in our middle schools. But I feel the way I see it is that they're really sly. And it's the boys are the ones that get in trouble for it. But normally it's because of the end means is a young lady. The end means is a young lady. The epitome of being cool is how do the ladies look at you? How do the young ladies, even in middle school, even with my 7th graders, especially the class that I have this issue with the most in, is normally just this one young lady, and everything centers around her. She might not be the perpetrator. She may not be the person that's doing the bullying, but everything, I feel that's just the way I see it. Everything is to impress these young ladies. So so I can't speak on how the young ladies are, but that's how I see it.
We got Chantaye. Chantaye, take the lady side. Let's go. It's not taking sides, but go ahead and say what James didn't want to say. Go ahead, give it to her.
Young ladies, that is a whole other stratosphere when it comes to bullying. So theirs is not going to be as physical, but some can escalate to fighting. But theirs is the small remarks. If y'all, Edwina and Tara can, we all were teenagers and we all dealt with that. How do I look? The self-esteem, the being confident. Y'all probably can't tell, but I have been a big girl all of my life. And when it came to girls in high school, they really try to pull you down because it was just one imperfection. When in reality, they're trying to hide an imperfection that they don't want people to see. And so when girls are the perpetrators are bullying, and not saying that's not for boys, but it's really something internal that you don't want to see. Case in point, my first bully was a girl. She was also the tallest girl in class. I swear that girl was 6 foot in kindergarten. Seriously. But our first black teacher, she actually came and she ended up talking to us. And lo and behold, finding out she used to get on to me because her grades weren't like mine, or she felt like I was a threat to her intellectually. Lo and behold, we become good friends. We're still friends on Facebook. And so when it comes to girls, you have to get inside that. What is that part of me I don't want other people seeing? And so therefore I'm just going to cast that on to someone else so they don't see it. And girls can get right down mean. I mean, y'all have seen, I have seen young ladies take other girls apart because of their wig installation, to the shoes that they're wearing and things of that nature. Being a teenager is so much more expensive than it was when I was a teenager. And so, and then there's something called womanly wiles that we learn to use very well at a young age that young ladies do where they will play young men with each other. And so when you see this huge argument or fight bust out, you will get back to the root that it's a young lady that's been playing back and forth. And so while she wasn't a bully, she was definitely the person. And I think that was Mr. James was trying to get to and didn't want to say. But yes, young ladies can be bullies. We definitely don't want to X them out the equation. And we also want to empower them as well to learn how to deal with other people in other situations. We are to learn that the other young lady is your sister. You're not in competition with her. We are in this together. We're supposed to fix each other's crown. And that's something that I try to teach I call them young queens, to just redirect them. I like, young queen, I need you to go to the corner and fix your crown, because we not acting like we're royalty right now. And so that's all I have to say.
I appreciate that, my sister. Yes, Jayden, what you see with the girls bullying in school?
Okay, so I'm gonna just be straight up honest with y'all. The girls are the head of bullying. Just simple. Boys, we know how to get through it and keep on going. But if boys are going to bully, it's always a girl right behind us. So, as people have stated, yeah, they can be bullies. Majority of the time, they are the main bullies. And they try to, they don't make themselves, I'm gonna say they're expert. They make themselves not in it, but making all the decisions. So they get people added into it. So when it comes back around and people try to dig to really find out who it is, they never really add her until something slips. So I agree with what they say 100%.
Thank you, Jayden. Tara, what's your take?
I'm laughing. Thank you, guys. I needed this morning. I'm waking up. No, bullying is not gender specific, but we like to identify, right, the physical part with the boys. The girls are the social, emotional part of bullying. They really are. They social distance, talk about social distance, and they've been doing that. That's social bullying, where they take away your friends and you can't sit over here with us at the lunch table and you don't wear the right shoes, so you can't come over here. That's what they do. And that, honestly, physical hurts, but I'm saying that emotional and that social aspect is devastating to the receiver. So don't get it twisted. Girls are notorious for this bullying stuff.
As a driver, we separate our buses at young ages. Like in elementary school, I have to put the girls on one side, the boys on the other side, or the boys in the back and the girls in the front, because the girls are gonna nitpick with my boys, and they're just like, just leave me alone. And especially those that have sisters, they're like, yo, like, stop. But buttons are pushed, and yes, girls can be very aggressive. I have a girl, I am a girl, but I also have a son, and so I see points of views all different from different perspective. And I'm thankful to have both gender as a mom, because I get to understand their feeling and what they go through and how to help in the community or in my bus setting. When I'm teaching a new driver how to handle different genders depending on their gender, because it is very different. So, Mr. McDaniel, what is your take with girls being a bully?
So, as a father of two girls, I'm praying, hoping that my wife and I have done what we can to encourage them, to give them the necessary self-esteem to realize that God made them who they are, and that they are beautiful young ladies, they're beautiful queens, and that the validation comes from the home. And I think that maybe and I could be wrong, but this is the way that I've been brought up by my grandmother, is that if you validate your children at home, if you support them at home, if you encourage them at home, if you cherish them at home, even through all the faults they have, then they are resolute in knowing of who they are. And I think that we've to that we have got to encourage our young children at home, because we always say everything starts at home, and it takes a community to raise a child. It starts at the home, then the community has got to surround themselves around the child or student, and go from there. So I really think that a lot of times, and I don't know, girls do it more than boys, but a lot of times bullying happens because something is missing within the home. That child is missing something, and the only way that they can garner the attention that they desire is by, quote unquote, acting out or doing things out in the public. So I think someone said on here, one of the panelists said, we've got to meet the child where they're at. But young ladies, they are a little bit more sly in their bullying. I will agree with that, but I know young men, we can get down with the get down as well. So that's my comments.
All right. So everyone, of course, you have taken your stand, and we have said a lot. I'll give us One more question, and we'll try to wrap this up in the next 10 minutes. The question is that, let me see where it's at. Stand by. Okay. We can go, I know, right? We can go back to the environment. It makes you wonder, the environment leads to the bullying. A teacher, a student, a therapist, and a community activist, and myself, all of those. Do you think, or have your experience led you to realize that it was the environment in which the bullies come from that caused them to do what they have been doing? James, let's go with you.
Sorry. All right. So as me and Chantaye, we come from the same system. Our school is her feeder, one of her feeder schools. So our kids are Title I. What that means, we have a lot of children that come from low income housing. Not necessarily saying that low income housing means that you're coming from, a bad family, but we do have a lot of kids that come from broken families. And I mean, even more than broken, just shattered families. I have a lot of kids that are coming from that don't even live with grandma. How some kids live with grandma or grandpa, things like that. I got kids that just don't even live with them. They're either foster care. I mean, I have a lot of kids with those problems. And I feel like those things do play a huge part into it. And one of the things, like I talk about with being positive, is just building on that self-esteem. Like Ms. Tara said, with getting into the root of the bully, and trying to figure out what's going on and just being there. So one of the things that I really wanted to do from the jump, a lot of kids like, you're my favorite teacher. Sometimes I don't like to hear them say I'm their favorite teacher, because that makes me think that they're going to try to take advantage of me at some point. But that's neither here nor there. But I do want to build that rapport with my students, so that way that they can be able to confidently come to me, talk to me about whatever's going on, whether it's at school or at home, and making sure that we work with those needs. I am very hands-on. I call parents all the time, every day. I don't just email. If I see a parent, I'm going to go and talk to them. I want to find out what's going on, what's in these children's background that can help, that makes them want to act out in these certain ways, and just give them some positivity so that they can feel better about themselves. Therefore, they can feel better about others around them too.
Super awesome. Chantaye?
Absolutely. One of the things I also do is that I talk when I begin to kind of investigate a child's behavior. You call home and you definitely find out that home is sometimes the culprit. Dealing and when you recognize that a child is not receiving that type of support at home, your lens kind of changes for them. I have a student that I'm dealing with now that we have butted heads. In the 2 weeks we've came back face to face, and I'm like, okay, and I call home and it's like, okay, I kind of see what's going on. So then my heart kind of becomes a little more passionate. And so, and I'm trying to work on just being passionate all around. But what do you do with that moment? That's when, of course, the teachers, we come and we try to support that student, regardless if they are the ones that we think of as troublemakers, or the one that's doing the bullying. We come around, we support them and give them a platform to say what may be going on with them. And some students are so broken, they don't even know how to talk out their feelings. And so then I probably had to, upgrade them to one of our counselors and therapists, because that's a place that's difficult for me to break into. But we have great counselors. We also have therapists, trained therapists on campus as well, that hopefully can break through that line. And so once that happens, we can begin to support that student regardless of that internal environmental situation. I have seen many people who come from very trying environments and come and make it to the top because they had that teacher. Example, I'm sure y'all seen Freedom Riders with Hilary Swank. We got a chance to have one of the true ones come talk to us, and he said if it wasn't for his teachers, because he came from a broken environment where his dad abused his mom, and mom was broken and didn't really know how to talk to him. But if it wasn't for those teachers that came in and put that love and support around him, he wouldn't be the person he is today. And so I say that to all of us that's on panel, that when we see that, even if they may be the aggressor, to always just think outside the situation and come in, deal with it definitely, but also be a support system for that student. So it doesn't matter where you come from, that we still embed in our kids that they can be successful.
Super awesome. I love it. Jayden, give us your take of what you've seen, if the environment has been a big part of why students are bullying.
Sure. In my personal experience, with talking with some of my peers, that's probably most of the cases. Usually they come home, they go to school and they bully other kids, but when they go home, they get bullied by either their older siblings, their parents sometimes, their peers around them. So when they feel that emotional distress, they make sure that if they're going to feel it, they want somebody else to feel it with them. So that's when they go on to school and then they'll do it to somebody else. So the environment is a key aspect in majority of what happens. That's why, like Ms. Tara said, we got to find the root in the bully so we can solve the problem at large.
That's absolutely right. Ms. Tara, your turn.
Oh my God, that is the root. So we have a microsystem that we're born into. We come in as a blank slate. That's why I wanted to speak to the parents today. Even if the parents are fosters or grandparents or, whoever they are, even if you have a babysitter, you may be a wonderful parent, but who you're leaving your child with, it's a modeled behavior. Children do not come out of the womb hating. They don't come out of the womb hitting. It's a learned behavior. Your microsystem feeds you. We are what we eat. So we must remember that what we're putting into our kids is what we're going to get out of them. So even if it's not us once again, and it's someone else, it's still going to come out. I also wanted to say that the behavior that they're expressing is really communication. It's like the panelists spoke about the inner city and not having those self-regulation skills, not having that support like that, not knowing even how to open up a conversation about yourself, because you have to be in the inner city as well. You have to be tough, right? You have to be tough. You're in this fighting zone all the time, even if you're not. It's just you're trained by the environment. It's totally where it begins and where it ends. And so changing that climate, just like a climate has temperatures, change that climate, and these teachers and these, counselors in school and different advocates do that. And I just encourage you to do that more. I mean, the teachers, I love teachers because they really do get to observe. They have our kids more than we do. You know what I mean? So they get to observe more than we can ever observe, especially if we're working parents. So what they see, it's wonderful for them to recognize it and then to move it on. Like what was just said, to move it on to a therapist, move it on to someone who can go very, very deep in that area and reach those children. Everyone deserves to be reached. Everyone deserves to have positive and good food put in them, and not just the food that we eat. And everyone deserves a chance to really, really dance in life. I mean, it is about being positive. And these children are just set up to believe that they don't have the opportunity because it doesn't look like it to them, or that they're undeserving of the opportunity to be something more. We have to feed to our children, if they feel less than, that they are the plus factor. They are the plus factor. So it definitely, the environment speaks in volumes to bullying.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. And as a driver or a CDL instructor, all that stuff, even speaking on behalf of the McKenzie Foundation and different events that I go to and do, I've had bullies come to me afterwards and say, I'm so sorry about what happened to your niece. And I didn't know that my actions could lead someone to death, as you showed us, because I also always show McKenzie's casket on the big screen, which is in some of the clips that I've been posting lately, where I let kids understand that your actions has a consequence, and sometimes it's death or the attempt of death. And one of the guys that were bullying, he had lost his mom. He was 10 years old. So he didn't know how to accept the loss of a parent. Just as Chantaye said, that changes your mind frame of that child from being a bad and awful kid to, oh my God, you have experienced one of the most dramatic and detrimental experiences in your life. And as a kid, he didn't know how to express that. So that's why the McKenzie Foundation chose to help the bully as well as the victim, because I found that both needed all of the love, the help, and the healing and support that needed to make a change, because it wasn't just rah, 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 let's beat up the bully. Oh, they mom and parents should know. Well, if their mom is dead, how she know? So you have to re-understand where every child is coming from. That is not the easiest task, because sometimes they hold back. But that's why we bring in individuals like ourselves on this panel, because kids will trust a stranger more time than they trust the people around them, because you won't judge them. You don't know their history. You only go by what they're telling you. And when it's something this serious, it's pretty much very real. And so, Mr. McDaniel, we're going to go to you, and then we'll wrap all of this up with all of the panelists giving their information, how you can find them, and we will thank everyone again. So, Mr. McDaniel, end this thing for us about the environment, because you are now an elect board member for the district of Henry County School District, and we appreciate you and all of my panelists for today. So I'm going to give it to you. Mr. McDaniel, where you at? Hey! I don't know. Did he freeze? Hey. Well, okay then. Okay then. Well, it looks like his screen. Oh, wait, he moving. Hold on.
Reload. Reload the page.
It don't me. I bet it won't.
Okay, well, Mr. McDaniel, can anybody hear him? Can y'all hear him? Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up. Tyra, oh, there you go. We'll go ahead and wrap this up real quick. So I want everyone to give your information of how everyone can find you. You can be found to help people that want to reach out to you. You guys can go ahead. Let's start with Jayden. How can we reach you if someone wants to reach out to you and your business and everything?
Sure thing. You can follow me at BJL Williams on all social media platforms, as well as go to my website at www.jaydenwill.com.
Chantaye?
I'm pretty easy to find. You can literally type my name in Facebook. Also, my email is ChantayeToney@gmail.com. I am also McKenzie Toney on Instagram. So those are the different ways that you can reach me.
All right, James.
All right, similar to Miss Chantaye, just on Facebook. I apologize. I'm not really social media savvy. I apologize. Not really on social media, but I am on Facebook. Also, j.norm@yahoo.com for the email. Or just come to Sparkman Middle School. I'll be there.
Tara?
My website is tinybemighty.org. and also the Bullying Buddy. That is the app website. It's bullyingbuddy.app.com. You guys, please visit that. In a few weeks, please download. And then I'm on my social media as Tara Lynn Towns, just my name on all social media platforms. But tinybemighty.org is the website.
All right. And of course, I have been your host this morning, EJENE. Oh, Mr. McDaniel, give us your information before we go. He's muted. He muted again. We're going to work on him.
Hear me now?
Mr. McDaniel, give us your information before we go.
Okay, my information is McKenzie, MaKenzie.McDaniel@gmail.com. Please forgive me, my computer had froze, so I didn't know if I was on here or not. That's my email address, and my telephone number is 678-362-62. I'm reachable, and I just thank you for the opportunity of being on here, and sorry for the technical difficulty.
It is all right. You know, we were here at All in Love, and I thank you guys again. Of course, I am author EJENE. You guys can reach me on Facebook. My name, Edwina Janae Adams. Lord have mercy. You can get me on Instagram at EJENE_1. It's spelled just like it is on the screen, EJENE_1. You can email the McKenzie Foundation at gmail.com. You can inbox, you can go to authorejene.com, my website, and you can ask or answer any questions or anything you need, and reach out to all the panelists this morning. I love you guys. I thank you all so much. There's so many people that are saying stuff, so go back and listen to this again and answer the questions of the people that are posted on here. And of course, we'll be doing this once a month from the rest of this year. And I thank you guys so much, and I thank you all for watching. Again, this has been the McKenzie Foundation Presents Bullying in a Virtual World. I was your host, author EJENE. We had Jayden, Chantaye, Tara, James, Mr. McDaniel, and Dennis Osborne as our speakers today. I thank you guys so much. Everyone have a great day. Goodbye.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.